Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwame Sha'ala, Koholo Yamla, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kaha Kwadash, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, led by the Spirit, taught us this beautiful truth, and just want to take the water toward the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Shachana Nawach. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And this article is in The Guardian, and it's entitled, "Why Are So Many Black Women Dying at the Hands of Their Partners?" Well, first off, let's just clarify that there are no such thing as black people or black women. There are different shades of brown people on the planet and different shades of red people on the planet. The word black is a social construct that was made up by the people that's calling themselves white, so-called white people, because they're actually pinkish to reddish in color. None of them look like a glass of milk, and there's no such thing as a black person. So-called black people, they don't look like a car tire. They're just different shades of brown, tawny, you know what I'm saying? Just brownish complexion, So you have to get rid of that first off. That's a curse. That's upon us as a people, as far as Deuteronomy chapter 28, what we would call bywords, and we will be in astonishment. Me and the brother was going into we read through the entire chapter 28, Deuteronomy 28, yesterday at camp, and was bringing out precepts. You know what I'm saying? And I actually seen the Chicago camp. They were going off into those curses as well. So that was the spirit. But these are curses, man, that's upon us as a people. And that high and mighty horse that you so-called black women have been on, because the so-called white man gave you this so-called freedom over your man, you're being it's coming back to haunt you. Basically, it's not a good look for you, especially in these last days and the days and times that we're in, because men really don't have no respect for you no more. The so-called black man, they done checked out. They not taking care of you anymore like that. They don't care about. I seen a video the other day with a so-called black woman. She was pushing a car, and another so-called black woman had her phone out filming her and talking about where the men at. You know what I'm saying? She was at the light trying to push her damn car, struggling. You know what I'm saying? And like, no, nobody's stopping to help push your damn car. Nobody is stopping to help change your car tire. Nobody is holding the damn doors open for you no more. They just trying to just get the fuck away from you, basically. Anyway, it says in April alone, at least half a dozen black women were allegedly killed by their partners, including the high-profile case of Serena Fairfax, estranged wife of the former Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, and Nancy Bowen, Vice Mayor of Coral Springs, Florida. Shaniqua Elkins survived a shooting by her husband, Shamar Elkins, that wounded her and killed 7 of her children and one of their cousins in Shreveport, Louisiana. And me and the brother was talking about that earlier too. These tragedies are shining a light on the killings of black women and the system that allows that violence to continue. Well, you've been a part of that system all along. You're a part of that system. You place yourself in harm's way as soon as you jump in that system and get that Section 8. As soon as you get them food stamps. As soon as you get that high, mighty, prideful, haughty look on you, and saying you don't need a man, and you use the kids against them. You use, all these different tactics to fuck that man over. And so you got some men out here, man, they don't give a fuck. These niggas don't, a lot of them don't work anyway. They out here, they being raised by you single black women. They come up emotional as hell, effeminate as hell, and get into drugs, get to dealing drugs and doing all kinds of shit. And these are the men that you're raising. You so-called black women are raising these men that are terrorizing y'all asses when they get older. Anyway, these tragedies are shining a light on the killings of black women in the system that allow that violence to continue. The numbers are startling. Black women are 2.5 times more likely to be murdered by men than white women are, according to 2025 study. Well, hey, these so-called white men, they checking out. They kill the whole damn family. They knocking off, the whole family, buddy. So it's not just, I've been seeing even Asian. America's just a trash ass place, man. There's a lot of violence going on just in general here. This is a very violent place. Okay, it says 2024 CDC report also found that black women made up approximately 13% of the population, which that could be true or maybe not, because we don't believe Esau. The scripture says to never trust thine enemy. He been running that 13% shit for a long time, you know, and only way that we, you know, we can't even know that that's true. There's no, how are we supposed to scour through the evidence or the data? We just supposed to listen to you and believe these numbers, and that's what Esau expects. Okay, but it says, but accounted for nearly 30% of intimate partner homicide victims. Firearms, mostly handguns, were the most common weapons used by men to murder black women. So while these appalling racial disparities, often black women's deaths at the hand of their partners are a culmination of months and years of intimate partner violence, threats, or the fallout of a contentious breakup, all with no help. A Miami Herald investigation found that police had been called 5 times to Nancy Mateer's home over an array of issues before her husband, Stephen Bowens, allegedly shot and killed her in her home in Coral Springs. Intimate partner violence also thrives because of the ways the rest Intimate partner violence also thrives because of the ways the rest of the black community closes ranks to protect and sanitize the image of violent men. And when victims do speak up, finding recourse can be hell. The process of seeking help in a domestic violence situation often forces black women to navigate a system fraught with stereotyping, disregard, and disbelief. Many survivors report experiencing racism at the hands of law enforcement, which makes them skeptical and fearful of police and child service agencies. Research has also shown that the stereotyping of black women as aggressive, shrill, and emasculating, well, they are. Most of them are. A lot of them are, man. Or inherently self-sufficient may inhibit survivors from receiving the help that they need from law enforcement. You're loud as hell, you're boisterous, clamorous. Scripture talks about, a clamorous woman, man. Matter of fact, let me get that scripture real quick. Not keepers at home. They'll come across a decent man that'll take care of their damn step kids, you know what I'm saying, or some other nigga's kids, and they'll fuck him over. This is what it is, man. Slovakia. Yeah, Proverbs 9 and 13. It says, a foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. And that word clamorous, matter of fact, let's read it in the Amplified. The foolish woman is restless and noisy. See? She is naive and is easily misled and thoughtless and knows nothing at all of eternal value. And that's pretty much the so-called black women. They choose wicked ass niggas, you know. Here you go, you living in a society where you can just, a woman can just be out and about and she can meet a nigga and have sex with him the very same day. Get impregnated by him the very same day. Move the nigga in the very same day. So this is actually, it's really a collapse of Esau's system. That's why the scripture says to also, let me see, is that Proverbs 3 and 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. So you're not to envy the oppressor. You're not to be jealous of what Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, has, and choosing his ways, because choosing his ways is chaos. Because he's a chaotic man. You learned all that chaotic shit from him. Jake, they get good at shit. You know what I'm saying? Micah 2 and 10. Let me get verse 9. It says, the women of my people have ye cast from their pleasant houses. From their children have ye taken away my glory forever. Let me read that in the Amplified. You evict the women, widows of my people, each one from her pleasant house. From her young, fatherless children, you take away my splendor and blessings forever. by putting them among the pagans away from me. It says, arise and depart, because the captivity is inevitable. Let me read that in the KJV. It says, arise and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. And that's our people in general. Our people are being sorely destroyed by the lifestyle of Esau, the so-called white man, these Babylonians. You living like a goddamn caveman, you're going to get caveman results. That just is what it is, man. Esau is the most violent man on this planet, the so-called white race. And a lot of this shit that, Jake be doing, they learn it from the so-called white race, man. We've been around them too long. Okay, Okay, it says, alongside the existing culture of silence around the gender-based violence in the black community, there's a stigma attached to reaching out for help. Black women are seen as protectors, and in the world where the criminal justice system targets black men, it is viewed as a betrayal to willingly put them in contact with that same system when they are the perpetrators. Yeah, black women will throw your ass under the bus, man. Intimate partners violence also thrives because of the ways of the rest of the black community, particularly men, closes ranks to protect and sanitize the image of violent men. Well, these men are being raised by you so-called black women. You have the so-called black women to thank for this. Shit, she's the one that's raising these idiots. In the immediate aftermath, since y'all so much better than men, you always talking this shit about me, 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 me. I'm independent. I can do all good all by myself, and you raising these fucking monsters that's growing up to beat the shit out of you. Then it is what it is, man. It says, many, including some prominent black figures, made posts, some now deleted, commenting on how great a man Fairfax, who was believed to have killed himself, was, and the significance. He could have been a damn chair. He kind of looked like one. Then again, it's not about looks. He could have been a chair. In effect, separating, when we say chair, he could have been a so-called white man looking like a so-called black man, because your seed line goes through your father. And a lot of people out here that you think are so-called black, they're actually so-called white, because they're forefathers are so-called white men, and they have that spirit. They have that gene. It's a spirit, man. The Lord created 18 different nations, man. They all have a different spirit. So it's not a color thing. It's not about what you look like, because you got Israelites that look like so-called white people. You got Elamites that look like so-called white people. You got Moabites that look like so-called white people. You got Ammonites. So whatever the father is, throughout time, as history goes on, grandfather, great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather, the seed line goes through the DNA of that father, man. So he could have been a chair, because he did kind of look like a fucking weirdo. Because, a lot of Jake, they don't, men, they don't really get into politics like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those, they look like so-called black men. They be into politics. Those be chairs, man. Okay, it says, in many cases, there's a history of mental health issues for men involved. Black men are far less likely than their white counterparts to seek out therapy, and often priced out of mental health resources. Yeah, you can't even afford no goddamn therapy. A relative of Shamar Elkins told the Associated Press that Elkins had voluntarily checked into a Department of Veterans Affairs hospital for more than a week in January because he needed help. Shanika Elkins had also been seeking a divorce from Shamar at the time of the killings. Justin Fairfax was a prominent figure in the Virginia politics until two women accused him of sexual assault. He reportedly struggled with his mental and emotional health after the allegations became public. Fairfax had been estranged from his wife before he killed her and himself. It's important to acknowledge how mental health illness is connected to domestic violence. Well, they call it mental illness and all these other things, but what that is those are spirits of vengeance. Those are spirits of vengeance, man. Let's go into the Apocrypha real quick. Ecclesiastes 39 and 28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Because women are very wicked, man. Matter of fact, that chapter 25, it talks about how the woman, I can get it real quick. Matter of fact, let me jump to it real quick. I can jump back. Ecclesiastes 25 and 24, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Okay? So, yeah, you women, man. I was just watching a video with the Apostle Tahar, and there was a psychiatrist. I think it was another brother that he was kind of doing a replay to, or so. Another brother that was doing the video, but the psychiatrist was going off into how you women and fuck this place up. And you have. You shouldn't be in leadership roles. You shouldn't be politicians. You shouldn't be police officers. You shouldn't be in a construction site, you know what I'm saying, with 20 other dudes, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be, in these positions of authority. That shit throws off, it throws off, it's an imbalance. It's an imbalance, man. The Lord didn't create you to be in those places. The Lord didn't create you to usurp authority over the man. That's another thing. So verse 31, and this is talking about these spirits of vengeance, it says, they shall rejoice in his commandment. So these spirits of vengeance, they rejoice in the commandment of the Lord, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So the spirits is not like, well, Lord, that's a woman. That's a woman, Lord. She's got these kids. She's taking care of these kids all by herself. No, the Lord is getting at you for your wickedness, man. He'll get at you about that wickedness that you're into. I was reading in Psalm 73 earlier today. Let me see something. Yep, verse 27 right here. Psalm 73 and 27. For lo, they that are far from thee shall perish. Thou hast destroyed all them that go a whoring from thee. And that's pretty much our people in general, you know what I'm saying? And 2/3, you haven't seen nothing yet, because 2/3 are going to be knocked off in the millions, man. The Lord is going to, really torch this place, because it needs to be torched. It needs a reset. The earth is going to get a total reset when the Lord comes in, and the Israelites are running the planet instead of Esau, because Esau has set it up where you women can get abroad. You can get up at 2 a.m. in the morning, go out and go deal with a dude, go ride on his rod, come back in the morning, cum stains all in your damn hair, while your husband and then went to work. You come in there and you grab a couple of things, a couple of clothing pieces and shit, and then you leave and go and deal with, and chill with this nigga for a week, and then you can come back to the crib and take half of your husband's shit, you know what I'm saying? And you wondering why these men going nut ape shit crazy. You out here, you doing too much. Any woman that's got a cell phone and she got any social media apps on her phone, you best believe she's through. She's through. We ain't gonna say all 100% of these women here are trash, but I go, you got to go at least 98%, 99%. If these women, again, if your woman got a cell phone and she's got Instagram, she's got just in general, she got a cell phone that you can't go through. She's got a lock code on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? She got a fingerprint code on that motherfucker. Ain't no telling what she doing in that motherfucker. Because women are sneaky as hell, man. So men with that jealousy, as a matter of fact, we can get that in Proverbs chapter 6, I think it is. Men with that jealousy, man, and that shit, man, these motherfuckers blow their tops. And then you have to realize too, it's a lot of uncles, fathers, brothers, sometimes sons of these women. They get killed or they go to jail trying to protect their whore's activities, man. It happens every single day. You putting your family members in jeopardy, you know what I'm saying, because of some nigga, some nigga you chose. Yeah, you gotta just deal with that nigga, man. Matter of fact, shit, why don't you just shut the fuck up and be submissive? You be better off in that light. You better off making sure he got some hot meals to eat. You running some bath water. You You know what I'm saying? You sucking him off good. You giving him what he want. You go get him a damn beer from the refrigerator. Treat him like, you better off going that route than to actually try and pull away and take the damn kids and do all this other shit. Cause that nigga coming after you with that gun, man. Straight up. But you women have been you've been told that you don't have to be submissive. Like being submissive is something like a damn disease. But you'll go to a job, you'll be submissive to your boss. When it comes to shit that you really need, you'll be submissive. If it's something that you really want, you'll be submissive for it. Proverbs chapter 6. Let me start at shit. I can get verse 26. It says, "For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life." See? Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever touches her shall not be innocent. And that's a lot of the cases. A lot of the time, that's what's be going on. Women attention spans are short. You know what I'm saying? Some other little nigga get to giving them fucking attention, and now they trying to deal with him. And then, and it's like, men put money into situations. They buying cars, or they taking care of car payments. They taking care of the rent. They taking care of this. They taking care of sometimes children that's not theirs, and all these different things. And then you go out here, and you're just unappreciative of the shit. And you go to dealing with it's a lot of I'm not saying that's the case all the time, but a lot of the times this be the reason why a lot of these bitches be getting fucked up, man. We're just being real about it. Okay. Verse 29 again. So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. I'm going to jump to verse 31. No, verse 32. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. A wound and a dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. And a lot of the times that be what's going on. But overall, these people got spirits of vengeance on them, man. You're living in some days where you women are being judged because of the atmosphere or it's that spirit of Esau. You have that spirit of Esau on you. You have that philosophy that the serpent gave Eve, like, oh no, you can do what Adam can do. You can be the man. Who told you can't do what he can do? Why can't you do what he can do? You know what I'm saying? You listening to the damn serpent. You listening to your damn deceiver. He's giving you all these abilities to get abroad and to move about the earth in a sluttish way. And then it degrades all the respect for all women. It's not just a oh, it's just these couple of men. They be looking at I'm not taking a chance with any of you. You know what I'm saying? Type of deal. They kind of throwing you all in a general group, painting you all with a broad brush. Not to say that all women are out here just fucking idiots. You know what I'm saying? But mass majority are. You see you motherfuckers walking through Walmart all the time, loud as hell. You can't tell me you can't. And the best thing we can do is tell you dudes, you men, man, because again, I know family members of, women dealing with stupid ass niggas, and then they calling their brother or calling somebody when a nigga on her ass, and then she done got them niggas killed, man. I done seen it. I grew up with that shit. I know about it. You know what I'm saying? These women make stupid, doofy ass decisions. Hey, you dealing with that nigga, especially if you've been warned. Like, come on, man. You went to school with that nigga. You already know. You grew up in the neighborhood with this nigga. You know his family. You know them niggas is some goddamn terrifying terrorists in the damn neighborhood. And you'll still deal with this nigga? Okay, well, you go for it. So when shit started to get to happening, don't call me, because I'm not going to put my life in jeopardy. I'm not going to put my mob, here you go. This nigga got a woman and some kids, and he going to try and protect his horse ass sister. Such and such over here beating on auntie. Y'all come through fast. No, call the police, bitch. Straight up, man. Like, and it just is what it is. This is what it's done come to. You just gotta just use wisdom out here now, man. And also, let me get this. I'll end out with Isaiah 32 Start at verse 9, because you women are too at ease in this kingdom, is what's going on. Isaiah 32:9, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. You're careless as hell. Give ear unto my speech. Matter of fact, let me go to the blue letter. I want to get this word careless. Very careless, bro. You're so careless that you don't even think it through. Like, you calling your family members up and they getting gunned down because of some shit you got going on with this nigga. Yeah, that word careless is on Bata. H982. To trust. Let me see here. Let's see. That's a little different definition on that. Because it's going into protection. I'm trying to see careless. Because when you go into the word careless, let me see something real quick. Let's get a Google define. Careless is an adjective that describes someone or something not showing or taking enough care, attention, or thought. And that's our women, man. They ain't giving a thought to some nigga coming through and kicking in their motherfucking door 3 weeks later after them fucking him over, man. They ain't thinking about nothing like that. Anyway, let's go back. Isaiah 32:9 again. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins, which means to repent, man. Repent to the Father Yahweh in the name of his Son Yahweh, because you're too at ease. You have the ease. Your woman can literally get into her car, man. She can walk, and she ain't got to say nothing to nobody in the house. She ain't got to say, I'm going here, I'm going there, nothing. She can literally get dressed, ass cheeks out, tits out, everything showing. Lipstick on, eyelashes batting, her little anklet on, her little tinkling of the feet. We was going into that yesterday, earrings. She just, she's smelling exotic, and she can jump right into her car, drive anywhere in America, pull up at a bar, pull up at a club, pull up at a homeboy house, pull up at homeboy's house where he's got 20 other niggas there, pull up at whoever house. She can go anywhere that she wants, and you can't stop her. Because if you try and stop her, she can call the police, and they can actually get you for kidnapping or entrapment or holding someone against their will. So you can't do nothing. What are you about to do with a bitch like that? You can't do nothing but let this bitch go. What can you do? You can't stop, you know what I'm saying, these hoes from just leaving the house. She can do that at any time of the day in the house that she wants to. She can leave at 3 in the morning. Where you going? She ain't got to say nothing. None of your motherfucking business, nigga. She can get in her vehicle, man. She working. She got money. She can go anywhere. She can travel down south. She can go to the Florida. She can pull up down there and stay for 6 months. Leave your ass with the kids. She ain't got to tell you where she at. You can put out a police report saying the bitch is missing. Police will waste all these resources on trying to find her ass, and then when she finally do pop back up, she can be pregnant again. Stomach out and everything. Here you go, like, goddamn, you ain't seen the bitch in 6 months. This bitch got a belly. And there's nothing you can do. Matter of fact, and she can be pregnant by a whole nother nigga, and this system will put your ass on child support for that very child she went and fucked somebody else and got pregnant. So here you go. This is America, man. This is Babylon the Great. So why would you invest or put all your time and worrying about these fucking chicks, man? That's why the apostles, they go into what they be saying about, the situation that we're in as far as this captivity and dealing with the so-called black woman. You what are you gonna do? You're not gonna do nothing but stress yourself out in jail yourself or fucking kill your or get killed fucking with one of these bitches, man. You might as well, hey, go ahead, do what you're gonna do. You had to keep calm. You had to, just leave it with, leave it in the hands of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. She wanted, the scripture talks about, hey, get that bitch a bill of divorce and let her get the fuck on. In fact, we end out with that. Because they, this guy Alazar was talking about. He was taught by the apostles to, put away your women and throw away your kids and do it. No, the apostles weren't talking about that. They was talking about if a woman comes in between you and this truth, if a woman come in between you and the Lord, say get rid of that bitch, man. Ecclesiasticus 25 and 26. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at verse 24 again. I got 24 before. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. These women shouldn't have the ability to just get up and go when they want to go. It doesn't work, man. What the fuck is you doing? Verse 26. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. Like, hey, go ahead, do your thing, man. I'm not going to jail for you. I'm not about to die for you, and I'm for sure not giving up this truth for you. You always in that Bible. And you don't treat me like these other men. My last man ain't treat me. He let me. Nah, bitch, we into the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to just do what you want to do. You know? You want to do what you want to do, take your ass on and go do it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't about to drag me into nothing. So I'm going to end out there, man. I pray that the lesson was edifying. With that, Kwame Sha'ala and the Bible Ball.